Welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring The Wisdom of Life and Counsels and Maxims
Oh,
by Arthur Schopenhauer.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is a good one. And he's a 19th century German philosopher who, let's just say, had a unique perspective on happiness. So imagine, if you will, a philosopher who looked at the world and said, hey, maybe constantly chasing desires isn't the path to true fulfillment.
Now that's a head scratcher for sure.
Yeah.
Especially these days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perspective that might seem a bit counterintuitive at first.
Yeah.
Especially in our modern world.
Right.
We're constantly told to want more, do more, be more.
Right.
But Schopenhauer's ideas, while rooted in his time, offer some surprisingly relevant insights into the human condition.
Yeah, I mean, his I guess you could say his worldview is, it's definitely from a different time.
Yeah.
But I found his ideas to be surprisingly relevant to how we live now.
Absolutely.
And this book isn't just some dense philosophical treatise, though. It's packed with practical advice on a range of topics, from self-knowledge to navigating social dynamics, even facing our own mortality.
That's a big one.
But what really caught my attention was Schopenhauer's take on happiness.
Okay.
He believed that instead of chasing desires, we should aim to understand and manage them, almost like taming a wild horse.
Oh, I like that.
Rather than trying to break its spirit. So what do you think about that?
That's a fantastic analogy.
Yeah.
And it really gets to the heart of what Schopenhauer was trying to convey.
Yeah.
He believed that true happiness stems from finding contentment within ourselves
You're right.
rather than constantly seeking external validation
Yeah.
or material possessions.
And so how do we begin to cultivate that inner contentment? Well, Schopenhauer points to the importance of understanding our own temperament,
Right.
which he distinguishes from character.
Yeah, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
He defines temperament as our inherent nature,
Okay.
the part of us that's hardwired from birth. It influences how we perceive the world, our tendencies and our reactions.
Okay.
Character, on the other hand, is what we develop through our experiences and choices.
So is he saying that, like, we can't change our temperament, but we can change our character?
He's suggesting that our temperament is more, fixed, while our character is more malleable.
Oh, okay.
It's like the foundation of a house. You can build different structures on top of it,
Yeah.
but the foundation itself remains the same.
So this distinction between temperament and character
Yeah.
seems crucial for finding a path that truly aligns with who we are.
Absolutely.
So much of the self-help world focuses on changing ourselves.
Right, yeah.
But Schopenhauer suggests that maybe some things are just part of our inherent nature. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Think of it this way. If you're naturally introverted, forcing yourself into a high-energy, extroverted role might lead to more stress and frustration than fulfillment.
But wouldn't that make it difficult to grow and evolve as a person, though?
Okay.
I mean, doesn't personal growth require us to step outside of our comfort zones sometimes?
It absolutely does, but Schopenhauer isn't saying we're stuck in a rigid box defined by our temperament.
Okay.
He acknowledges that we can actively shape our character through self-reflection
Right.
and conscious effort.
Okay.
The key is understanding our inherent nature and making choices that complement it,
Right.
rather than trying to force ourselves into a mold that doesn't fit.
So it's about finding a path that works for us,
Exactly.
rather than trying to be someone we're not. And this leads to another fascinating idea.
Okay.
Schopenhauer's emphasis on setting realistic expectations
Okay.
and acknowledging our limitations in a world obsessed with achieving your best self.
Right.
This feels like a refreshing dose of reality.
It is. And I think this is where his practical advice really shines.
Yeah.
He urges us to find a balance between striving for goals and finding peace in the present moment.
Right.
It's about recognizing that we're all human with our own unique strengths and weaknesses.
This makes me think about the "I'll be happy when" trap
Yeah.
that so many of us fall into.
Yeah.
We delay our own enjoyment because we're so focused on some future achievement or milestone.
It's a pervasive trap in our culture.
Yeah.
We're always looking ahead to the next thing instead of appreciating the beauty and richness of the present moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Schopenhauer would say that this constant striving for something more only perpetuates the cycle of desire and dissatisfaction.
And so how do we break free from this cycle?
Well, I mean, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where do we even begin?
Yeah. I mean, is there hope?
Schopenhauer offers some practical steps.
Okay.
He encourages us to start by being honest with ourselves. What truly matters to you? What brings you joy?
Right.
Once you have clarity on your values, you can start making choices that align with them.
It sounds like Schopenhauer is advocating for a more mindful, intentional approach to life.
Absolutely.
Where we focus on what truly resonates with our inner selves, rather than being swept away by external pressures and expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to another key aspect of his philosophy.
Yeah.
The power of art and intellect as sources of true and lasting fulfillment.
This is where Schopenhauer's ideas get really intriguing, especially in our hyper-connected, always-on world.
Right.
It's as if he's urging us to unplug and reconnect with something deeper and more meaningful.
He absolutely is. Think about the last time you were completely engrossed in a book.
Okay.
A piece of music, a painting, or even a captivating conversation. These are the moments when we transcend the mundane.
Yeah.
When we experience a sense of awe, wonder, and genuine connection. These are the experiences that truly nourish our souls.
And he believes that those are the types of things that will lead to true happiness.
Exactly. He saw these pursuits as a way to tap into a realm of higher pleasures, ones that aren't dependent on fleeting desires or external circumstances.
Okay, so it's about finding those things that feed our souls.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a rich inner life that can sustain us through the ups and downs of external circumstances.
That sounds like a pretty good recipe for happiness.
It's a path worth exploring.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we're here to do today.
All right, so let's keep going.
Let's dive deeper into Schopenhauer's wisdom.
Yeah, and see what else we can uncover.
Schopenhauer believed that by engaging with art, literature, and philosophy, we tap into a realm of higher pleasures.
Right.
Ones that aren't dependent on fleeting desires or external circumstances.
It's fascinating how he connects these pursuits to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. But in our fast-paced digital world, how do we even carve out time for such contemplative activities?
That's the challenge, isn't it? We're constantly bombarded with distractions.
Right.
With information vying for our attention.
Yeah.
Schopenhauer would probably argue that we need to be more intentional with our time and energy, choosing to prioritize activities that nourish our minds and souls.
So it's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time.
Yes.
Rather than just letting ourselves be swept along by the current of daily demands and distractions.
Absolutely.
But Schopenhauer wasn't solely advocating for a life of solitary contemplation, right?
Right.
He also recognized the importance of human connection.
He did, but with an important caveat.
Okay.
He believed that true connection requires authenticity and effort. It's not about surrounding yourself with as many people as possible, but rather cultivating meaningful relationships with those who share your values and enrich your life.
This resonates with me on a personal level. I find that after too much socializing, even if it's with people I enjoy, I crave some solitude to recharge and reconnect with myself. Is that something Schopenhauer would have understood?
Absolutely. He saw solitude as essential for self-discovery and reflection. It's in those quiet moments, away from the demands of social interaction, that we can truly tune into our own thoughts, feelings, and values.
So it's all about finding that balance between connecting with others and nurturing our own inner world.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, Schopenhauer wasn't exactly known for his cheery optimism.
True.
His philosophy delves into some pretty heavy stuff, like the inevitability of suffering and our own mortality.
It's true. He doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of the human experience.
So how does he approach those topics?
What's remarkable is that even in these challenging topics, Schopenhauer offers insights that can empower us to live more fully and meaningfully.
Okay, I have to ask, how can contemplating death help us live better? Isn't that a bit, well, morbid?
It might seem counterintuitive, but Schopenhauer argues that by facing our mortality head-on, we gain a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of life. Instead of fearing death, we can use it as a reminder to savor each moment,
Right.
to pursue what truly matters,
Yeah.
and to let go of trivial concerns.
It's like that saying, live each day as if it were your last.
Right.
But with a philosophical twist.
Yeah.
Instead of encouraging reckless abandon, it's about living with intention and gratitude.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that our time is finite.
Right.
And choosing to spend it wisely.
It's interesting how even a philosopher known for his so-called pessimism can offer such surprisingly life-affirming advice. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you in this book? Something that really resonated with you personally?
There were so many insightful passages. But one that really struck me was Schopenhauer's emphasis on self-knowledge.
Okay.
He believed that understanding our own temperament, strengths, and limitations is the foundation for a fulfilling life.
Okay.
It's about embracing who we are, quirks and all.
Right.
And making choices that align with our true selves.
I completely agree. It's like he's giving us permission to be authentically ourselves.
Yes.
Rather than trying to conform to external expectations or societal pressures.
Absolutely.
But we've only scratched the surface of Schopenhauer's philosophy.
Right.
There's one more piece of the puzzle we haven't explored yet.
Okay.
His view on the world itself and the force behind it all.
Yeah. You're right. We've talked about happiness and fulfillment, temperament, and character, even about facing our own mortality.
Right.
But we haven't yet touched on Schopenhauer's view of the universe.
Okay.
And the force he believed drives it all. He called it the will.
The will.
Yeah.
Is he talking about willpower like the kind we need to achieve our goals?
Not exactly. Think of it more like a river's current. A powerful force that flows beneath the surface of everything.
Okay.
It's not about conscious choices or individual desires, but a primal, relentless energy that drives all of existence. Humans, nature, the entire cosmos.
Oh, everything.
Everything. It's the source of our desires, our fears, our striving, our suffering.
Whoa. Okay, so are we just along for the ride then? Does that mean we have no free will?
Well, Schopenhauer believed that our free will is limited,
Okay.
heavily influenced by this underlying will. He saw it as the root of our constant yearning, the reason we never quite feel satisfied, always reaching for something more.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
But, and here's where it gets interesting,
Okay.
he also suggested a way to gain a degree of freedom from its grip.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we break free from this all-encompassing will?
Schopenhauer believed that the key lies in understanding the will itself. He argued that through knowledge, through cultivating our intellect and engaging with art philosophy, even acts of compassion, we can achieve a certain detachment from its relentless pull.
So it's not about fighting the current,
Right.
but more about understanding it, learning to navigate its flow, and finding moments of peace within its turbulence?
That's a great way to put it. Schopenhauer saw art, music, literature, all those things we talked about earlier, as a way to transcend the everyday struggles driven by the will.
Okay.
He believed that by immersing ourselves in these higher pursuits, we connect with a sense of beauty and truth that exists beyond our individual desires and anxieties.
It's almost like stepping out of the river for a while, finding a place to rest on the bank and appreciate the beauty of the landscape. Before diving back in.
Exactly. And he didn't stop there. Schopenhauer also saw compassion as a powerful force, a way to break free from the will's self-centered focus. He believed that by acting with kindness and empathy towards others, we momentarily transcend our own ego-driven desires and connect with something larger than ourselves.
That's a beautiful thought, especially coming from a philosopher who is often portrayed as a pessimist.
I know, right?
It's as if he's saying, yes, life is full of struggle and striving, but we're not powerless against it.
Yeah.
We can choose to act with awareness, compassion, and even find moments of genuine peace amidst the chaos.
I think that's the essence of Schopenhauer's message, and what makes his work so relevant even today.
Yeah.
He reminds us that while we may not be able to control all the external forces that shape our lives, we always have a choice in how we respond to them.
Okay.
We can choose to cultivate our inner world, to seek knowledge and beauty, to act with kindness, and in doing so, carve out a space of freedom and meaning within the grand scheme of things.
It's a powerful reminder that true fulfillment doesn't come from getting everything we want, but from understanding ourselves and our place in the world.
Absolutely.
So after this deep dive into Schopenhauer's wisdom, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the message here is one of empowerment. Schopenhauer reminds us that while life may be inherently messy and unpredictable,
Right.
we have the power to choose how we navigate it by cultivating self-knowledge,
Okay.
embracing our limitations, seeking beauty and truth, and acting with compassion. We can find moments of genuine peace and meaning, even in the face of challenges.
It's like Schopenhauer's handing us a toolkit for a more conscious and fulfilling life.
Yeah.
He's not giving us all the answers,
Right.
but rather encouraging us to ask the right questions, to look within and to find our own path.
Beautifully said. And if you're curious to explore these ideas further, I highly encourage you to check out Schopenhauer's work for yourself.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at how relevant his insights feel, even centuries later.
So there you have it, a deep dive into the world of Arthur Schopenhauer, who knew a 19th century philosopher could offer such timeless wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life.
And who knows, maybe a little dose of Schopenhauer's so-called pessimism might be just what we need to find true contentment and meaning in our own lives.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.